cold, wintry Saturday morning in February on the corner of DeKalb and Tompkins Avenue in Brooklyn, New York, at Mount Pisgah Baptist Church and the George H. Murray Preparatory Academy, there was a revolution going on, a Readvolution.
Readvolution, everybody, let's start it.
Reading a book, it should be part of your regular walk. You should have a book in your hand during the day, whether you're on the bus for an hour, going back and forth to school, just like you read the Bible. It's a book and all these wonderful authors. That's how you learn your culture.
Historically, black people weren't allowed to read or write, and so we now have that opportunity. So what better way to teach our children about black history, getting them involved outside of the Xbox, the Wii, and everything else, by just sitting down and reading with them, helping them to understand that once we weren't allowed to read, but now we can read, and reading is actually our power, and by reading we can cause a revolution. So that's why we call it a Readvolution.
You can't have knowledge, you can't have power without the historical books and books from people all walks of life. So we have, books by Javaka Steptoe, we have storytellers like Tammy Hall, all people we know, all people right here in Brooklyn that just do the craft and love what they do. And the kids love it. So, and a lot of times what we try to do is let the children choose what we do as far as ministry. And a lot of them read books. And a lot of them will tell you about their favorite authors, they'll tell you their favorite stories. They read the same stories for hours on end. So it just makes sense to bring it to the church.
My favorite book has to be Go Tell It on the Mountain by James Baldwin.
My favorite book is the Martin Luther King Jr. book. My favorite book is The Bad Case of Stripes. Elmo book.
Elmo?
Yes.
Okay. I see you have a couple of books with you.
I do.
All right. So what are you going to be reading to the kids out there today?
One will be One. That's the title. And it has taken colors, using colors in personified colors, I should say. And there's, it's about bullying and how when you come together as young kids and you support the one person who's being bullied, you're greater in number. And you can also bring the bullier around to understand that there's nothing he can do when you work collectively. So that's one of them by Catherine Otashi. It's called One, and it also introduces young children to colors, the primary colors. It introduces them to the numbers, and the moral of the story, as I shared before, is about how to overcome the bully. And the bully is red, and red being that fiery, just kind of angry color. But then red even becomes a number in the end. So it shows that collectively you can overcome it, and it was fun for me. I enjoyed it. I'm dreaming about it.
I really like this book. Is called What a Wonderful World by Ashley Bryan, which is an African-American artist. The song was made famous by Louis Armstrong, but I believe it's written by two Jewish guys, Thiel and Weiss. And it's another example of, the people coming together to collaborate and creating something beautiful. So I kind of chose this book to read. And I'm going to sing the book and have the youngsters.
Wow,
because the book is the song. The words are actually the song. I see trees of green. So we're going to sing the book, and they will sing along with me, looking at the words. And the illustrations are just awesome. Ashley Bryan is just awesome. One of my favorite illustrators.
I am reading today. I'm also leading a discussion for the teens because they don't necessarily like to be read to as teenagers. So, but we're going to have a discussion group around some quotations that we're going to talk about. So that's going to take place in a little while.
When did you start reading to your children?
Oh, I started reading as soon as they were out of the womb. We started collecting books. At our baby showers, we have books as gifts instead of, the car seats and all that, just to start the library.
I read to her before she was even born, because I read somewhere that after 5 months of gestation, babies can hear. So I started reading books to my stomach when she was inside. So when she came out, I continued reading like that. And she was a very early reader. I mean, she started reading, full-blown reading at 4, 4 and a half. 5 years old, she was gone. She could do compound words, and I think that reading to her really sparked her interest, and showing her books and taking her finger and showing her how to read from left to right. I think it's been key because she started reading early, she started writing early, and she continues to write. Reading is fundamental. I know it sounds cliche, but it really, really is.